I told you guys. I said I was not gonna be surprised if Catriona won, and she absolutely killed it last night. First of all, congratulations to Catriona. Girl, you are just everything a Miss Universe should be. I said it in my first video, and I'll say it 1,000 times over. You are the complete package, and you are confidently beautiful with a heart. You can even tell from your answers, you have every intention to leverage this year to be the best it can be, giving a voice to people using your platform. I'm so excited to follow along this journey, along with like 2 million more people. Guys, can we talk about how she hit 1 million going into the show? And after the show, she's now over 2 million followers. I can't imagine how she felt waking up in the morning and opening that. This girl going places. When editing my behind the scenes video at Miss Universe last year, I pulled some content of Pia's homecoming. Is that gonna happen again, but more? Is that float gonna be like a giant volcano with lava now and she'll just like appear? Either way, can someone let Sierra and I know when that is, and we're coming. I'm so excited. So for those of you who don't know, I watched the show last night with Casey Sayago, who was top 5 last year at Miss Universe. Miss Venezuela. So she came over, obviously we were cheering on Venezuela. I was also cheering on Catriona and a few other of my favorites. Just absolutely thrilled to see them both make the top 3, and South Africa has been one of my favorites as well. I just think so many deserving girls made it to the spots that they ended up in. A lot of girls that I weren't expecting that are also incredible and accomplished and beautiful did not make it in certain areas that this was such a tough year. So many deserving women made it to the spots that I thought they would. My predictions were kind of accurate. Ow. I really have to stop doing Cardi B sounds. I started taking notes about the show, and I'm gonna go through it in chronological order, give my opinion on the top 20 girls who I was expecting to make the top 20, the 15-second speeches, and then obviously evening gown, swimsuit, and our final questions and answers. So let me speed this up a little bit and not try to dive into every single girl, but starting with Africa and Asia, top 5. South Africa, Philippines, Nepal, Vietnam, Thailand. 4 for 5, guys. I thought India was gonna nail that last spot, but instead Nepal, which was a very close follow-up. Totally see what you guys have been talking about. I think she's incredible. Not to mention, if you guys don't know this is only the 2nd year that Nepal is in Miss Universe. Last year, Nagma, who represented Nepal, was just same thing, total package, and she was a huge driver in getting Nepal to Miss Universe in the first place, and have Manita place not only in the top 20 but the top 10 was incredible. The moment she started speaking with Steve Harvey, you just knew exactly what the judges saw. I am so incredibly impressed with Nepal and absolutely love this girl. Vietnam's reaction, I think she just won the hearts of every single person that night. She just looked so cute and shocked and surprised and just melting. Europe's top 5 blew me away. I was so off on that prediction. I think I had 2 of those 5 girls referring to genuine reactions, which is one of my favorite things at Miss Universe. You can tell sometimes when a girl's like fake being surprised, and then when they're actually genuinely floored. Hungary did that reaction. I think this girl looked so sweet. She clearly looked shocked. I mean, if you're a country that you're not necessarily being part of the high pressure predictions, like these girls are the ones who are going to be in the top 5, these are the ones that I think can win, if you're not being talked about and you don't have the pressure of that, you're definitely more stressed out to think, will I or will I not make it through this crazy difficult cut? And Hungary, I feel, just gave such a genuine reaction to it, along with Ireland. I mean, I'm sure all the girls were surprised and excited, but they just had particularly fun reactions. I screamed when Ireland got in there with that final spot. I was rooting for this girl since day one. I think she's incredible, and I was absolutely thrilled to see her make it. Great Britain, incredibly well-spoken. I will admit I was a little uncomfortable at the singing, but she's a great singer when I just really wanted to hear her speak. Belgium, I had Belgium in my top, and then I took her out because I was just trying to balance and fit many girls. Americas, top 5. Curacao, Costa Rica, Canada, Puerto Rico, Jamaica. Costa Rica I talked about in my first video. Didn't know where she was gonna place. I was pretty excited to see her place regardless. I love this girl. How can you not love this girl? I don't know who won Miss Congeniality, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was her. How comfortable she was with Steve Harvey and that question and answer. Guys, I said this. She works in television and would feel comfortable in front of a camera, and it goes to show it. To be bold and make a joke at Steve Harvey, which he's kind of like drawn out the Columbia wrong crowning joke for last year it was getting to be like, okay, yeah, we know. But to see a contestant bring it right back and Natalia deliver it just so well. This girl is fabulous. Wild card. Whoo! If I did not see Venezuela and Indonesia make it, I would have cried. Indonesia, this girl has just grown so much in my eyes. I think she's so cool. I think her story is fantastic. She hands down had one of the best videos out of all the contestants on those up close ones that were posted online. She's eloquent when she speaks. To quickly address it, if you haven't seen it, she talks about how there are members of her family who are different religions. I believe it was maybe 4 different religions. And she used that to address the fact that she would like to talk about with so much negativity already in the world, where a lot of that is fueled by indifference towards one another. She's using that as a proof and example of my family has differences, key differences in religion, which typically people would think is a taboo topic, as a great example on how we can still have love for one another despite of these differences. I'm a huge fan of Indonesia. Brazil, she does an incredible amount of activism, especially in Amazon conservation. She's born in Amazonia. That is so cool. And then the fact that she also uses her platform to address environmental issues. Thrilled to have seen her in the top. So people who shocked me that I was hoping to see in the top, but only so many girls could. India, huge shock. I thought her story was incredible and she's well spoken. I'm really intrigued. El Salvador, Peru. We got Chile. Shout outs to a few girls in their videos. Bahamas. I thought that video was just incredible. I thought she was well spoken and talked about the right things. Sometimes it's just the aura of how someone speaks that really draws you into it. Lebanon. I really wanted to see that girl up there, at least in the top 20. Was very, very surprised. I love Lebanon. I'm very sad to see that, but this girl's so young. She's gonna go so far in life, and I'm excited to follow that journey. Girl, you got a fan. Nicaragua, I would have loved to have seen. Namibia really impressed me with her video. I wish those videos came out way earlier than they did. You get to know them a lot more. At the same time, I can only imagine the exhausting effort that it is to edit all of these. Kenya, I thought I would have seen her there, but she also had a very tough group. Kazakhstan, beautiful girl. I want to see one more thing. Why would Steve Harvey keep taking the mic from the girls as they're answering their questions? It bothered me so much. I saw it happen like 3 times where it would try to be like playful banter, but then I guess they were still continuing a sentence, and I felt bad. I was like, the tribute to Spain. I don't cry often, but man, that segment brought tears to my eyes. I'm like, that is a Miss Universe moment. She just had her Miss Universe moment right there, which obviously winning the crown would have been a big deal, but I was so overly happy to see the recognition that deserves. I mean, no matter what your opinion is, guys, you have to acknowledge and respect the bravery of someone to be the first transgendered to compete at Miss Universe. You have to be a very, very, very strong individual to face probably what is an incredible amount of cyberbullying. I've read a few things online that are too disgusting to ever repeat. Just, this girl, like, when she cried herself in her video, like that's when you went off the cliff emotionally. Just well done. Moving on to 15-second speeches. I have another video coming out addressing the format as a whole. I love this format. I love the opportunity for the girls to speak. I originally talked about the format where I wanted to see it as more of that question and answer, put a girl on the spot, but I think I agree with this more. Now, after seeing it live, putting a girl on the spot to ask an impromptu question and answer is all luck of the draw on what question you get. However, when you're telling the girl that, hey, you're gonna have the opportunity to put forward a message on stage and you have full control over it, I think is wonderful. You have so little control over the questions Steve Harvey will ask you. You have little control over the video that will be played about you, but this is the one thing that a girl will have control over, and I love that this has been incorporated. Last year, I'll always remember, Sri Lanka, who's brilliant, was asked a question about her cats. Man, how did she get a question about her cats? Does anybody, do they not want to ask her about how she runs her own business? Nope. Vietnam, when I first heard it going through, I wrote down in my book not fair because I thought they were gonna have to give this in English rather than their native language. I thought that because of watching Vietnam and just thought, man, if she gets eliminated because of this, because they're not providing a translator, that is so not fair. But then later on, when another girl did use a translator, I think that's probably what the judges took into account, knowing Vietnam tried to do the 15-second speech in a language that is not her native language. And she still did a good job. I can't do that in Spanish. I can't do that in Portuguese, let alone Vietnamese. Like, good for her for taking such a big risk on that stage. And clearly, it didn't affect anything. Top 5, baby, top 5 for Vietnam. Yeah, I love her. Okay, so I wasn't gonna comment on this. I was avoiding it altogether, guys. But since y'all asked for your girl's opinion, it takes a considerable amount of hard work, grit, dedication and time to achieve an engineering degree. So for someone who has taken a different route to become a biomedical engineering technologist in devices and equipment, it is not similar to being in engineering in Canada. So claiming to be in engineering it's just disheartening and deceptive for the vast majority of people who are an engineer, hold an engineering degree, or are in the process of getting that degree. I was really taken aback watching the show how confidently she addressed a platform studying a degree in biomedical engineering when that in fact is not accurate. And a lot of other girls could have taken a spot there who may not have stretched the truth to that extent. I just don't think that's right. That isn't to say that she cannot pursue an engineering degree after she completes her diploma and chooses to move into that field, but with that not necessarily being the case right now, I felt it was a little bit of a surprise on live television on an international stage. No bueno. Biomedical engineering technology is to become a technologist. An engineering degree is to become an engineer. If there are any engineers out there or technologists who would like to shed light on the difference between these two, go for it. And for the record, I do not think that any education is better than another education. I just believe in someone representing themselves truthfully. It just breaks my heart. Back to fun, Lauren. Okay, enough of that. Continuing with the pageant, that brings me to the top 10. Okay, first of all, swimsuit, overall styling. I thought the colors of the swimsuits were beautiful. I liked the styles of them. I don't really get the wings. I feel it was like an attempt to be a little Victoria's Secret, but it just, I don't know. The wings threw me off. The wings were a little distracting. They looked good, but the galaxy sarongs. Yes, I love these galaxy sarongs. The color was muted enough that it wasn't too much of a distraction, but it was enough that it flowed with the background to really allow things to flow and looked gorgeous. Music, the beginning, thank God. When I heard the trap music come on, I was like, no, please don't tell me that that's their runway song. It's too slow and it should be upbeat. So to hear that change of pace was perfect. South Africa, she brought it this time. I think she brought it a lot more here than on finals night. Wow. Vietnam, oh man, like Vietnam has more pep in her walk, and yeah, just see the galaxy flow. It just looks so beautiful. Venezuela, the top hip action in my opinion, hands down. But then here she is, Catriona. There she is. What I loved about Catriona is she knew to hold back and not walk too fast and not walk too far. She knew to wait there until she saw that camera come up on her, and then she would start. Yeah, versus other girls, like they missed those extra few seconds because they just focused on the runway walk, but Catriona knew what to do, and she was paying attention to them cameras. She was not starting until that camera was ready for her. The slow turn. Woo! Get it! I feel like I'm reliving it all over again. I'm like, get it, girl. I like Costa Rica's reveal. I like that she was holding it and then revealed. Incredible body. This has to be one of the hardest cuts in years on how to bring that top 5. Curacao bringing it. Nepal slowed down her walk a little bit at the beginning, but still like, ooh. Every single one of these girls is so strong. Thailand. Oh, I forgot how amazing that was. Puerto Rico, I like that she spun and let go and laughed in that moment. Moving on to evening gown. Kyrgyzstan's dress, because I saw a backstage video somewhere of like head to toe sparkle, long sleeve, up top, A-line. I wish I saw a little bit more of the parade of the rest of the gowns. South Africa. So there's this huge concern. Oh my God, what if I trip? South Africa's walk is proof to tell you that it doesn't matter about what happens on that stage. It matters on how you handle yourself with grace. Clearly she walked out and she's stumbling. Really respect the judging panel for still putting her through the top 5 and giving her a good score, seeing that she was struggling with that, but kept on the face. Didn't drop it for a second, didn't look disappointed, didn't give up and be like, screw this and walk off. She did not check out. She stayed with it. She fought through it. I love it. And that slicked back ponytail, like, I also am pretty sure that they hemmed it for the final 3. Like, props to that team behind the scenes, if it's the same group that I know and love, for fixing that hem right away and finding that solution. And that goes for even non-pageant life too. When things are going wrong, keep your head up and smile. Vietnam. I don't even need to say anything about Vietnam. Slayed. Venezuela, slayed. My favorite thing about Venezuela is this. She just does the hair flip so well. There it is. Ugh. Okay, here's my reaction. God, I wish I had my reaction to this lava dress. Like even the coloring. I feel the moment she stepped out in this, it was game over. Nothing needs to be said. Also, is it just me or like literally everything about the styling of this and her face? She suits the Mikimoto crown. She just suits it. One other thing I forgot to re-record when I've now been doing things and my hair is a little bit more. Did anyone else get straight Jessica Rabbit vibes from Catriona's dress? Like her dress, the side part, the motion, the look, like, oh! I felt like she was the real life Jessica Rabbit, but like a crazy, classy, queenly version of Jessica Rabbit. Giving me all the feels, guys. Costa Rica wasn't my favorite dress. I think she worked it really well though. Just tough competition. Curacao, wearing the same dress. She didn't need to change. That dress was perfect on her. Her hairstyle is one of my favorites. It just looks so classy. I love updos and evening gown. Oh, just beautiful. Her gown, I think, is one of my favorites. Like, I know obviously drop dead, gorgeous lava gown, but Curaçao's has to be a close second favorite in terms of gowns. Nepal, I think this is such a unique gown, but I feel there was just a little bit too much happening with it to make it a little bit distracting with the train and the additional feathers. Like there was just too much movement. Same thing though, held her head up, had a giant smile, and just was so graceful when she had that little trip. Tough competition. Canada's gown. Michael Cinco, you are a beautiful, beautiful dress designer. There's no doubt about that. Okay, wait. Considering the size of the train of Canada's gown, can we talk about Thailand for a second? I mean, have you guys seen that meme of Ariana Grande dodging the Victoria's Secret model's wings? That's kind of what this moment reminds me of in terms of Thailand is supposed to be having a moment of just like, look forward, focus, cameras, fierceness, this, that. She's obviously already killing it, but now suddenly is this little scene in this moment of going, oh my God, I have a giant train coming at me. What do you do? Oh, just smoothly keeps her focused. She's got that crown in her sights. It doesn't even faze her. This gown is beautiful too. The color is such a wonderful color on her. You can see the detailing and embellishment. I don't know if there was any incentive behind the gown of wearing red to pay tribute to the Thai flag. The crowd is just going nuts. I think, she just did such a wonderful job. Really, really carried herself like a queen. I mean, they all are. Like Puerto Rico, I love Puerto Rico's gown as well, actually. So my favorite gowns, purely gowns, not performance, come to, I would probably say, Philippines, Curacao, and Puerto Rico. I love having that little shoulder coverage and her cleavage isn't too much. I think if a girl has a little bit of a larger enhancement and you can see a lot of cleavage, it doesn't look as tasteful. But the way she has it done is you can still see the slight line, but it doesn't look like too much. Like, girl, can I borrow that gown for something? Who designed that? Here, you know what? Screw it. Instead of Googling it, I realize one of you will actually know. Can someone send me the name of who designed that dress? The pairing with the earrings ties it all together really nicely. Okay, that's enough about evening gowns. I got really into the evening gowns. This has to be one of the hardest top 5s of all time. Wait, is this a top 5 that I said? This is the part where I'm proud, guys. I'm checking on who I said was in my top 5. Close. So I said Puerto Rico or Vietnam and Venezuela, but I put Curacao in the top. So I cheated. If I say 6 for my top 5 and 5 of the 6 made it, does it count? Pretty gosh darn close. So the one thing I do want to talk about, and let me pull this up on my Instagram, someone had pointed out to me that the translation that Vietnam received was not necessarily the most accurate. If you speak, so someone commented on my photo, they said, "Hey Lauren, before you make a reaction video, I want to let you know that there was a flaw in Miss Vietnam's translation." The interpreter said, and this does happen more often than you think, the interpreter said, "I don't think it has gone too far protecting women, and women's rights is the right thing to do. Women need protection and rights. I believe that we aren't saying enough, since when we are talking about an individual's health, looking out for people, looking out for safety, and women, this is an important issue. We need protection and we need freedoms and protection. Thank you." This is what someone has commented to me. I can't speak to the full accuracy of that translation, but I did want to point it out because I really appreciate that person taking the time. If you speak Vietnamese, by all means, chime in. It's always the risk when you have an interpreter. If anyone watching this, if you know anyone who ever is to use an interpreter at any type of a competition, break it down to as short sentences as possible to try to ensure that translation is accurate. Any one of them could have won. I love about Catriona's answer, you can see the passion behind it. You can see she cares. She genuinely cares. Girl, yes. It's a 2-part question. What's the lesson you learned? How would you apply it? She answered both. Also pointed out a very specific example of one place versus South Africa, set on a high level, like both privileged and unprivileged. Not that it's a bad answer, but it is a little subtlety. People will remember examples. People remember a story more than high-level descriptions. Venezuela is so cute. The delivery on Venezuela I felt was a little bit stronger than the delivery on South Africa. Like the way she's presenting herself. Oh, Venezuela. I wish I saw South Africa do a little kapumka. Yeah, guys, I was in Thailand this year. I think I remember it. Kapumka. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's all she wrote, guys. One last thing quickly to say, obviously, congratulations to Catriona and all the other girls who placed. But most importantly, this is a message that I had actually sent to the Miss Universe Canada girls before they competed at our nationals. It is so important to keep in mind that when one person wins this title, that doesn't limit how you choose to define yourself the rest of your life, because a lot of girls tell me they want to compete at Miss Canada because they want to start a charity, because they want to have these X, Y, and Z accomplishments. Whatever it is that your goals and accomplishments are, you can still go and achieve those dreams. This is one chapter of one person's life, and there's so much more and so much left in the world to be achieved. I don't doubt that every single one of these girls is going to go off and do incredible things. It's tough and it stings for the first few weeks, but do not let a single title limit you in what you can achieve in your life. That's it. Thanks for following, guys. I'm more than happy. A few of you have talked about doing a Q&A video, so maybe over the next week or so. Have any specific questions, topics, write them in the comments. I'd love to hear what questions that you might have that I can help answer. Be sure to subscribe, follow along. I have some really exciting projects and videos that I'm over the moon and thrilled to announce in 2019, things that I'm still working on the back end. Miss Universe 2018, baby. Great choice. I'm not even kidding about that parade. I want to come back to Manila for that. Woo! Auntie Rachel, I miss you. I need some Chargao in my life.